Could I have just a couple of minutes? When he gets done, I gotta tell you this.
Take a number, Ron. We'll get to it.
Whenever you're ready.
Hi, I'm Corey Heidelberger. I'm one of those rural folks who voted no. Let's make clear, the fact that I voted no does not mean that I do not support education. It does not mean that I do not want to pay taxes. And it does not mean that I do not want to support the public school system. I'm a product thereof. I'm a product of this school. I graduated from the Madison debate program in 1989 and am proud of that fact. Going to school in this building, doing shows in this theater, which had all the same problems it has now that it did then, made me very much the person I am. And I'm very proud of who I am, and I want every young person, including the cute curly-haired one over there who goes to this school, to have more opportunities than I had. Absolutely. So this question, this discussion isn't about saying who supports education, who doesn't, who's a no, who's a whatever. It's not about that. It's about making sure the school works. It's about making sure those opportunities are there. And it's about making sure we can do that in the context of the money we have, the resources we have. As Mr. Allen very intelligently alluded to, we have a regime in this state that makes it nearly impossible for teachers to make the living wage, for students to get the resources they need, for public schools to do what they need to do without going begging for private donations. And that scares the pants off of me too, Ashley. I'm 100% with you there. However, in the current economic regime, we do have to ask a very practical question. How much money do we have in the budget now? What can we do with that money? How much more are people willing to support? So I'll grant, yes, there are some people who probably will say no to whatever plan comes forward, whatever next plan comes forward. Political reality. That's the joy of living in democracy. It's harder than living in a dictatorship. In terms of what that next plan is, I don't know, but I think we all need to be very clear about something, that we don't have a plan on the table now. The board put forward a plan, and they worked hard on it, and I respect the work it takes to put together a plan. And they chose to put it to a public vote. How's my time, Tom?
You're 3 minutes.
Thank you. And the people said no. So that plan has been rejected. And it's time to accept the decision of the majority and move on and find the plan that will be acceptable rather than beating the same dead horse. Now, I will point out one reason I'm so concerned about this discussion. A lot of the discussion is about the building, and I agree. A positive work environment, a good building is important for good learning and for a good work environment. However, in terms of practical policy, I say this. If you can tell me, or if the community can tell me, that we have, say, $1.2 million extra that we're willing to take out of our pockets and put toward the school. That was about the yearly debt service that would have been on the previous plan that's been rejected. If we have $1.2 million and someone's got that pot for me, I'm going to say, wow, we could build a 2,500 seat gym and do that previous plan. Or we could take $1.2 million, fix up the things that have to be done, the lights, the bathrooms, those bare electrical wires, yikes. And then we could take the rest of that $1.2 million and give the teachers all a $1,000 raise or a $2,000 raise. I know that still only keeps us 51st in the nation, but it gets us closer. When I look at studies that talk about what makes a better school environment, what's going to help us beat China or Singapore or whoever's getting better grades than us on the scores, the discussion I never hear is America's falling behind other countries because we don't have 2,500 seat gyms. Our kids don't graduate from their own gym. They don't have a big fancy building. That's never part of the discussion. The discussion I hear is exactly what Ashley alluded to. Teachers need respect. They need a living wage. They need to feel like they're getting the pay that they deserve. South Dakota is years from that, but if you tell me we've got extra money to put toward the K-12 system, I'm going to say, let's spend it on teacher pay. Let's spend it on restoring the French program, or the gifted program, or the other academic programs that the school board had to cut because of opt-outs that, well, I'll be honest, opt-outs that I once upon a time rejected. I've changed in my perspective on what we need to spend our money on. I recognize the school needs more resources, and our kids need more opportunities. But given practical priorities in a policy environment where money is tight, if we actually find some precious money, if you folks are nice enough to say, yes, Madison High School, here's $1 million more each year, spend it wisely. I say we've got to talk less about the building, understanding I don't want kids to get burned up in the choir room either, and yes, we can fix that. But we need to look at practical ways that we could knock another door in the choir room, make another egress out of there, build a bigger choir room on the side of the building, without also incurring then a $17 million plan to build a 2,500 seat gym. Let's focus on real academics. Let's focus on the practical things we can do now with what little money we may or may not have, and get those things done. As for the really nice gym and the other really nice things, heck, I'd like a big gym too. I can think of fun things to do in there. That'd be nice. But we've got to set priorities. And I think that's the question here. And so I would say, architect, get the list. Tell me what we can do this year, next year, year after that on an itemized basis. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.